So here we go, everybody. Welcome to another Loan Watch feature, the series where we look at Town's loan players out and about where they are, from Motherwell to Exeter to Gillingham. This time we're doing Matt Penney, who's on loan in Scotland at Motherwell in the Scottish Premiership. I'm joined by Pepe from the Motherwell podcast. Pepe, it's a pleasure to have you on. How you doing, my friend?
I'm all good. Pleasure to be on.
Top man, top man. Well, Matt Penney, he's on loan at you guys at the moment. I wanted to ask you, first of all, he signed just before deadline day, a few days beforehand. What was your reaction when he first signed? Of course, he's a left back. Did you need a left back at that time?
Yeah, we did. And ironically, he signed. He was our manager's first signing. Our manager being Stevie Hamill, who was an amazing left back for us, probably one of the best in the times that I've watched Motherwell. And we've never been able to replace him for Stevie Hamill retired. So it's quite ironic that his first signing was a left back. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'd never heard of Matt Penney prior to him coming to us. You obviously do your research, which really focuses around Wikipedia. So we weren't really sure what to expect. Motherwell have been in the market in the kind of lower leagues of England, but obviously getting somebody for League One, we thought it would have been a decent type player. So yeah, we weren't really sure what we were getting. Our left backs currently, in my opinion, were pretty poor. So we were hopeful that our left back manager had picked a good one.
That's a good little story there. Yeah, the manager was a former left back himself, and his first signing was a left back. That's a good little fun fact to hear. And yeah, you do your research, don't you? Don't always trust Wikipedia. You never know; it could say something wrong. But he was signing from Ipswich, and he is a left back, so that was good. Good start. Now let's talk about his overall spell so far. He's played 13 games, 2 assists. You guys 9th in the Scottish Premiership at the moment. I'm sure you're now under your new management. Of course, you said Stephen Hamill, but how has he done so far?
Look, I need to be very careful here because I'm probably going to answer a question you're going to ask me later on. I don't want to big him up too much because I don't want him making back tees because he's been an absolute revelation. His first month he won Player of the Month, and in my opinion, he should have won it last month as well. He's been so impressive, honestly. How he can't get into your side, he must have a good left back. I'd say probably attacking wise, great, very skillful on the ball. A game against Hearts springs to mind where he had 2 almost identical shots for about 25 yards. One hit the bar, nearly smashed the bar, and another was a great save for Craig Gordon. So overall, he's been great. He's been unlucky not to score. Very creative, very keen to get forward, and he's probably been a player that we've been looking to sign for a number of years, as I've said. We've had some really terrible left backs, one in particular, a guy called Tony Straker for the lower leagues from England that we've signed, and he was abysmal. So you've always got a wee bit of worry and anxiety, but this Matt Penney, we're all hopeful that Motherwell are quite business astute. We've got a really good chief executive in Alan Burrows, and hopefully there's something in place that we've potentially agreed a deal in principle, if he does well, that we can get it sorted in January.
Yeah, because his loan spell is until January, and the reason why he's probably not playing is because we spent over $1 million on Leif Davis from Leeds, who's a left back, and he's been fantastic. So he's never going to get into the team. It's always interesting to get some insight, and if he does go on and join you guys in January, we're just talking out like right now out loud. But you think if he does well for you guys, and that is going to be one of the questions before we get on to the other bits and bobs. Would you have him definitely on permanent deal then if that offer came to you right now?
Without doubt. My concern is that he's playing so well that there'll be other teams sniffing about him. I think every fan, we've had mixed form. It's strange with Motherwell, we've actually been playing well, not getting the results, and there's still been a kind of bit of positivity. Maybe recently, with the performances have dipped slightly, so the World Cup break has maybe came at the right time. But every positive, every game, Penny has been the one that's pass marks. As I said, I don't want to big him up too much because I really don't want to lose him. I just think he's. There's obviously bits of his game that he's definitely more attack minded than defensive minded. Maybe that's just what we need. We play a kind of 4-3-3, so he's up and down that line a fair bit. But yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, if we could do any, we will be doing business in January, and I could guarantee you that 99.9%, if not 100%, of Motherwell fans would want him as a permanent signing.
Yeah, it'd be a good signing for you guys as well. Like, he's 24. He's not even got to the prime of his career yet, and he's played in the Championship before he came to us, and he just unfortunately didn't work out. Paul Cook, our previous manager, signed him, and of course Kieran McKenna came in. He played a little bit under him, but in the summer he wanted to improve that area, and he's gone to you guys. What is the things he does need to work on? Is anything you go, oh, maybe he needs to work on that? It may not even matter for us now because if he's gonna, you guys want him so badly, okay, have him. But anything he needs to work on?
I think sometimes maybe he's found up the pass quite a bit. I think he's attacking minded. Sometimes maybe leaves the position a wee bit slack. But particularly with a team like Motherwell for playing one of the kind of Rangers, Celtic, the two bigger clubs, it's always difficult when you've got a kind of two full backs marauding forward, and he's definitely one that. But to be honest with you. There's not too much that he's done wrong. There's not much that I would say that I've never heard any of the boo boys, if you like, getting on his back or anything like that. Everything's been positive. There's obviously bits of everybody's game that they can improve, but there's definitely more positives than negatives. The negatives are small things that can be tweaked going forward, but it's very unusual that a club, you'll know yourself, at any club, that a lone player gets player of the month so quick in his first month of signing. So that sets the bar for me. I don't really think I need to re-emphasise how well he's doing. I'm delighted that your left back's doing well, because that was a question that I was going to ask you, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely, because you always think that sometimes players go out on loan and then they can win player of the month or just play really well, and you go look at your current player in that position and go, so we've loaned out a player and he's doing really well, but then our player is not doing well. So it's sort of there. But at the moment, our left back Leif Davis is doing very well, and we'll sure see what happens in January with Matt Penney, because he's out of contract in the summer. So that, it's very much out in the air at the moment what's going to happen. But it sounds like Matt Penney, Motherwell, working well.
Yeah, no, it couldn't go any better. And as you say, it's a wee bit of kind of a nice story, is the fact that Stevie Hamill, who I'd like to add is an absolute Motherwell legend, and every left back is now compared to Stevie Hamill, because he was the last really good left back. And the fact that where we're at the moment with Stevie signing him certainly adds that wee bit of kind of romance to the story. But honestly, he's been brilliant. I think every Motherwell fan would do anything at all to at least have him at the end of the season, and I hope that can be sorted out.
Definitely, yeah. He's come out. Of course, he's been speaking to the papers recently, and he's just saying he's enjoying his spell. He's enjoying life. I think one thing he just said, he wants to be playing games, and I think every player want to play games, and he's getting out of Motherwell at top level. In the Scottish Premiership, playing against Celtics, the likes, Rangers and everything. So I'm sure he's up for those sort of games. But yeah, that's all I need, my friend. Any other business? Any other thing you want to mention about Matt Penney, and we'll catch up later on.
What I would say is he probably, if he continues in the form that he's going just now, he's a contender for Player of the Year. I know he's only played 11 games for us, but having watched every single game this season, he's the most consistent player that we've got. I mean, you only need to look at the last two votes for Player of the Month, and I think he lost the last one by one vote that the club actually came out and said. I actually think that the club had thought that he was going to be again, and they'd done a pre-video, and then I think they were surprised that it was a search for one of the other players. But yeah, hopefully the Ipswich recruitment team aren't watching this too closely and decide now we'll just have him back as backup, because how much I'm raving about him, but I can't do anything else other than, because it would be doing Matt Penney an injustice if I was as honest and up front as how impressed I've been with him.
Definitely. I didn't know what to expect, to be fair, because I will admit I haven't watched any Motherwell games. I've done a bit of research, but I wouldn't say I've watched any games. But to hear this insight has been fantastic, Pepe. And of course, you guys now got a break because of the World Cup, so he's not going to be playing games. So I'm sure he's going to be. Do you know what's going to be happening with Motherwell? They a lot of your players were probably not, unfortunately, because of Scotland. Not, sorry to bring it up. But is there going to be much going on?
That's all right. I think they'll maybe get a couple of weeks off. We've got a few players, the likes of Louis Moult, who was obviously a hero up here and then went to Preston. I think he was at Burton just before he came up. So we've got players that are needing a wee bit of a break. It's really strange. Doesn't it feel like the World Cup's starting on Sunday? To be honest with you, I've kind of had to put it out of my mind. But I'll miss my. It's probably in another way of looking at it is we're probably at a time where we need a wee bit of a break just because our form, our results haven't been great. Stevie Hamill coming in for the first game of the season and not really having a pre-season with him will maybe give us that wee boost that we need. So we'll need to take the positives out of it, but it's going to be a long 5 weeks, I think. Supporting everybody who's plays against England.
Yes, definitely, mate, definitely. But no, thanks so much for joining me, my friend. Best of luck to Motherwell for the rest of the season, and we shall find out what will happen with Matt Penney with you guys. Will he return back to Ipswich? We shall wait and see. But thanks again, mate.
No, thanks for having us, and best of luck to yourself. There's quite a few links with Motherwell and Ipswich, with the main one being kind of George Burley, who was a big a success at Motherwell. So, and with obviously Terry Butcher as well. So, yeah, I wish you all the best, and hopefully he's get back to at least up to the Championship where a club like Ipswich belong.
Definitely, mate. Love to hear it. Thank you very much.
Cheers.